left.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark. Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto. My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, it didn't even like zoom out. Well, I guess welcome to Two Fat Guys Pull List episode 160. All right, here we go. Let's just get it going, huh? Let's you all right over there?
No.
You okay over there?
No.
Okay.
I'm doing the whole show like this. Not a little.
Doing the whole show like that, huh? So
I don't want to talk about it.
okay, we won't talk about it. If you know, you know. But welcome to episode 160, or issue 160 of Two Fat Guys Pull List. And yes, we are giving away our 1,000 subscriber slabs, even though our numbers went down and now we're at 998. But that's okay. We're still giving away our slabs because we did hit that number. We have video proof that we hit those numbers. So tonight, as long as you chat in the chat and you're subbed and all that good jazz, we're giving away this. Finally, Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man issue number 4, original Sin tie-in, first appearance of Silk. And we're giving away this Wolverine 300 signed by Brian Denham. And also his artwork. The show will be giving that away. Or the shop that we go to, which is our show sponsor. Which, dude, I've got like it. We are just all over the place right now. Hold on, let's just get rid of that. There,
We're professionals that are doing professional things.
Professional things, yep. Anyway, it's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great. But let's talk about our show sponsor, which is Collected Comics and Games here in the DFW area. That is our comic book shop that me and Nate frequent, our LCS, where we pick up all of our comics, where we don't talk about sports. And yeah, it's great. It's a good place. They got three locations, one in Fort Worth, one in Irving, and one in Keller. So if you're ever in the DFW area, go ahead and check out Collected Comics and Games, where you can find everything from comic books, back issues, new issues, games, board games, statues, action figures, models, trading cards, posters, lunchboxes, Twinkies.
All of
it. All of it. He's got
Twinkies.
everything. Yeah, if you get in the
God.
little snack section, he's got Twinkies. He even has
Oh,
chocolate
you're right.
Twinkies.
You're right.
Anyway, it's a great place. So go check out Collected Comics and Games. Also check out staycollected.com. That's their website where you can go buy stuff online if you're not in the DFW area. Would love for you to do it. All right. Let's get to the show. Well, let's get to chat here because I feel like there's a lot going on here in chat.
Yeah, let's get to chat, and then I want to do a preliminary hit on the week.
Okay. Go ahead. So chat, we got John saying,
yeah.
"What's up, comic fam? I think I had 6 books fighting for my pick of the week. Nice. Ultimate Spider-Man, Transformers, The Madness, Swan Song, Sacrificers, and She-Hulk were all bangers. Did not disappoint. Joe, pick of the week by long shot was Ultimate Spider-Man. Also, y'all need to read Wolverine Sabretooth War. Sabretooth killed Wolverine's song and cut his body up to say happy birthday."
No good. Nice.
311 says, ha 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 ha. I'm assuming that is our bit here at the beginning. Joe, I hear you, Nate. I have my under on my face. And I still smell it. It still smells better than the Cowboys.
Yep.
Jaden, what up? Patty, let's get it pumped for this week. Ultimate Spider-Man was my pick. Also, hell yeah, got a video to listen to while I tile my shower. I'm gonna tie my shoes. Nice.
Patty's always doing something that's just like so much above what we do here.
Right, like he's doing like handy shit.
Like one day he's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm filing the taxes on my like crypto mining and stuff like that." I'm like,
what? Appreciate all the entertainment news on the books I don't and I can't read always. Me, what's up? It says hello. Joe, y'all don't talk about it, but y'all covered in sports care. Hello, it's like a woman wearing a thong.
Listen,
We don't want us to comment.
when you are a world champion, you cover yourself in world champion gear, and you don't worry about what else is happening in the world.
I mean, I'm wearing world champion.
You can't stink when you listen. First of all, I doubt you had that particular beanie when the last time they won.
No, I have like 15 of them. So this is just a new one that I got for Christmas. So
exactly.
Right.
That's not a championship one though.
But it is.
Like this gear was won during the year and at games that this team won.
Okay, don't get mad.
And this is your team too. Why are you?
Yeah, this is my team. I don't know. Just get mad.
Yeah.
To make
there's a clear reason why I'm mad at you.
There are no options for Canadians, but I'd buy a few things for sure. What up, Ryan? Yeah, make sure to let everybody know to get into this chat and start typing away because we're giving away some cool slabs. Never any of that, but maybe one day I'll be like, I'm filing my taxes for my own general construction company, but I gotta make enough money. No, I totally get that.
There you go.
What up, Doodly? All right, well, so yeah, you guys know the drill. Make sure I will say it throughout the show. Please comment so that enters you in to get the slab or enters you to win the slabs that we're giving away tonight. And also, everyone that won last week, we are giving away. We're still mailing those out. We're gonna try to get these winners set up, and then we're just gonna do a mad dash to the mailbox and just, boom, shoot everything out. So please do not think we forgot about you. We are giving away those slabs. I think it was Stefan, Patty, right? No, who won? Stefan,
Empire,
and
Holden, I believe.
you have it written down somewhere.
Yeah, it's literally right there in our thing. Yeah,
I can't see it.
Stefan, Empire, and Holden.
We got it. So we got you guys. We'll get you guys those things. Did we get well, we'll get back to that. We need to get you all's addresses, but I think I got one. I got Stefan's for sure. But anyway, let's get to this week's books. Let's kick it off with Marvel.
Hold on.
Preliminary.
I meant to bring this up with you before, but
Okay.
what I would like to do
Okay.
is I would like to get the guest art shenanigans out of the way.
Okay.
Because we're gonna end up screaming at our screens on four separate.
I totally I see what you're saying. That's fine. Let's do it.
And I feel like after getting chastised a little bit on the internet about my complaints about the artists, I'd rather just get it out of the way. So
Okay.
Avengers. So I mean, this is Marvel and DC still, I think, should be chastised for this.
Okay.
Avengers, Batman and Robin, Green Lantern, and She-Hulk all had guest artists this week. And listen, I understand these are the issues that they were probably working on between Thanksgiving and Christmas. I understand about proper time management. I'm not the kind of person that's like, yeah, just do your work and pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get over it. Like, but at the end of the day, like when you're given a period of time to accomplish a task, I feel like something needs to get done. And again, I'm not saying it's the artists that, I don't know, need to be chastised for not being able to keep up with their book or something.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a clear problem here that's not being handled correctly. Now, a lot of people on like League and Twitter said that I was absolutely wrong, that skipping a month to allow the artist to continue would be a worse option than having a guest artist. And so maybe I'm just yelling into the void by saying I'd rather you wait a month.
Mm-hmm.
I personally have like so many books that if I missed one for a month, I'd just be okay. You know, like I never have a empty stack of TBR, so I would just be okay with it. But do you feel like any of these four books? Do you feel like any of these four books were a lesser quality product because they were missing their natural artist?
So
or
I
their
think
main artist.
remember, okay, Batman and Robin, yes. She-Hulk, not so much, and I don't think that's because I'm like diehard for She-Hulk. We'd already experienced a artist change in the first series when it was just She-Hulk or whatever it was called. And I was, thoroughly frustrated when they switched. And then I liked the artist that they picked up, which I think was the artist that Rainbow had with her what was it called? Runaways. Her Runaways run.
Mhm.
So great. I think there may have been one or two panels in She-Hulk where I was like, that's not working for me. But then other than that, a majority of the the majority of the issue, it didn't bother me. It didn't take me out of the book. Avengers, we'll get to Avengers. But as for the art, I could be either way. I was like, I was indifferent. It wasn't distracting. But it wasn't like, what's going on here? But for Batman and Robin, 100%, I was like, I mean, there was nothing wrong with the art, but it was a downgrade comparative to what we had with DeMio. Like you have DeMio. I mean, DeMio to me is right up there with RB Silva and Pepe Larraz and Daniel Warren Johnson and like all of them. Like it's just superior, right? So I just think anybody, unless you got any of the people that I just mentioned, but even then, it's such a tonal shift in artwork that it would be distracting. Okay, so I feel like for Batman and Robin, for me, that was a miss. What was the other one? There were 4, right?
There were 4: Avengers, Batman and Robin, Green Lantern, She-Hulk.
Green Lantern was also a bust. Like I think
Green Lantern was a bust
for me.
No, I mean
art
wise, again, not quality. The
Correct.
art was that artist is a good artist. That's
Correct.
not what I'm saying. But I can't. Zermonico, I believe, is the.
It just
novel
wasn't up to par with the rest of the series, and it was distracting. Like, and the thing is what was going on in the story was really fucking cool. Like, I really enjoyed what. I'm sorry, I'm typing at the same time as I, because I'm trying to get everybody's names in.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I felt like, yeah. I think if you had to split them up and you had to say, okay, this was okay, and this was just atrocious. And when I say atrocious, I mean the art was so radically different that it just made me forget what I was reading, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for DC's sake, it was just a complete miss to the point where it took me out of the book. Whereas with Marvel, somewhat indifferent, and it didn't impact my enjoyment of reading the story and that may be because I'm just more of a Marvel fan, right? But to me, like, it's a 50-50, right? And visually, the art change that I got in those books wasn't as drastic as it was with DC. And I feel like when we get art changes, DC seems to be the one that goes more radical, and just like, whoa, we're just going in, and it's clear that it's an issue within the industry, right? Because last week we had was it Stephanie Phillips? Who was it? With Birds of Prey. No, Kelly Thompson.
Becky Cloonan's book? Or no, it's Kelly Thompson. Sorry,
Kelly Thompson. Like, it's clear that the writers are aware of the frustration amongst the community when people, or when the publisher decides to change the artwork for whatever reason, whether it's the holidays or the artist can't keep up. And so it's clear that the writers understand that. And so then they come out and say, okay, just be aware that this is the perspective of this character. And then you read the book and it's like, no, it's not. Like, and I guess kudos to them for trying to connect a dot. And I'm not saying that they have every right to do that. But at the end of the day, we always compare it to manga, right? Somehow, the Japanese are able to consistently put out a chapter a week with the same art. And it doesn't really, I don't believe it has anything to do with it not being colored. That's bullshit.
Well, it's because they have assistants, right, doing the art.
They have teams.
Them,
yes, they have teams, and they all. And this is gonna sound horrible, but I've had this thought actually all week without any prompt from you whatsoever, which is, I sincerely believe that there is a work ethic lost in translation. They just get their shit done.
I don't.
No, I think they do.
Well,
and that's why you are so frustrated with them with manga, because if you're able to pump out every week a new chapter, however many pages or however many panels, then why can't you have that same dedication to coloring, right? Because they could. And I'm not saying that I want that tradition to break. I'm not saying that. But to me, I think it's a work ethic thing, and I don't think it's solely on the artist. I think it's a work ethic thing within the publishers. Marvel and DC and everybody else should foot the fucking bill to have assistants helping these artists out and build a team for them to be consistent every month. Not week, month. That's my opinion. If we're going to go there, that's how I feel about it. Why can't Marvel and DC foot the bill for every artist to have a team, a creative team, to keep consistent art? It's totally doable.
Your comparison is not good, because in this chat, and some people in chat have said the conditions that manga artists work in are
horrible.
Atrocious,
right?
And not a good thing to compare to at all.
I guess, but
and I'm sure they are not paid even what it would be borderline wages at best.
Okay, but
because it's not until you become the main manga artist that you get anything.
Fine,
and most of those guys are still working 13-hour days.
Fine, comparison's horrible, but still, my point is, Marvel and DC can pay a little bit more for these artists to have one assistant.
Sure, yeah, that.
Let's just say one, so that we can have, so we don't have to bring in a John Romita Jr. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I want consistent RB Silva and Pepe Larraz and Kokulo and Nick Klein and Daniel Warren Johnson, and it's very evident that there are some artists that can be on par with Daniel Warren Johnson, because the artist that's jumping in after issue 6 looks pretty similar. Like, it's doable, guys, but it's just, how can we get this done as quick as possible, as cheap as possible? And that's the American fucking way. And it sucks. It's just, it just feels like, it feels to me like, and this is a very broad statement, and I'll get crucified for it, but it just feels like there's just no regard for craft. And these people, I know that these artists are putting their hearts and souls into these books.
Yeah.
But I would, if I was one of the artists, I'd take it personally if the book I've been working on, suddenly someone else has to jump on it, and then I'll come back 3 or 4 issues later. I would be pissed as an artist. Like, I want to stay consistent. I may be way off. I may be just like lighting my pants on fire right now, but that's just how I feel about it. It's been on my mind.
I don't know. It's been on my mind too, and I didn't want to get into it once we started books, because I know that we'll.
No, I think that's smart.
And then not get there. Also, we've had a lot of people show up that you might need to get.
I only have 5 names in right now, and I know we got way more than that.
Way more than that. Way more than that. And I also wanted to open it up to chat, because I knew that, a lot of people will provide perspectives that we haven't thought of, or could at least agree or disagree. And so, there are some things that, like Joe brought up, that it took Last Ronin years to finish, but at the same time, is that what, he said, yeah, it was good, but the wait between was terrible. And I almost wonder if at a certain point we're going to get to the idea that, like, we have to do these things in chunks instead of by month. You know what I mean? Like, don't start a book until the first 6 issues are done. But of course, that's going to bring up the point where it's like, don't be a piece of shit and cancel a book before even the first arc is done.
Right.
Like they did with Al Ewing and his Avengers book, like Avengers Inc. Like, you obviously, we'll just complain forever. I don't want to keep going down.
Well, you got
roads about why Marvel and DC are, huh?
Complain a little more, because I'm still like halfway through the list.
Marvel and DC are clearly not interested in changing up their status quo for consumers. Like, that's very obvious.
Right.
That's what happens when you get run by a mega corporation, and like, you don't have human beings looking at their product, right? You just have people looking at numbers on a screen, and that's it.
Yeah.
But like, if you would actually take the time to like say, hey, we're going to do 6 issues before, like, we're like, turn in the issues and then announce the book and release it like 3 months later, and then by that time things are caught up, things are good to go. You don't need a fill-in artist because, like, I don't know how much work it takes to make a comic art wise. I'm not an artist.
Right.
160 hours a week is a month is your average work month, and 160 hours seems like enough time to get a comic done, and a couple covers. You know, I know each artist is doing their own thing. Some artists have more than one book, some don't. Um, just being an asshole that knows nothing, 160 hours in a month sounds like enough time to get that job done.
Well, and I think where we're landing is that I think these artists need more support. I think even the writers, I'm just saying, I think for the stories that they're pumping out and where they're going to be dedicated later, right? Because we all are sitting here going, we love these stories, and there might be a good chance that they get picked up for a movie or a television show that the publishers or the studios are going to make. And in my mind, if you're going to do that, then give them the proper support to pump out premium content. And I just don't think it's that far-fetched to say, hey, this artist needs a team because this book is bringing us money. Like, I mean, again, I know, like you're saying, like the working, the conditions for a manga artist is not at all the best, but they're pumping it out, and they have a slew of members, if it's 1 to even 5 or 6 people working and mimicking the same style of art. It's doable here, especially for a company that's making so much money. I'm not just saying, not saying on the comics, but in general, they're just making tons of money. They can hire creative teams to produce these books and say, you know what, we're gonna have some consistency. God damn it, like that's just what we're gonna do. Because how many times, time after time after time, we come on here and we complain about, oh, we don't have the art. We're already 3 issues in and we don't have the same artist, and it takes you out of the medium. It's unfortunate and it sucks because I think it does a disservice to the writer and to anybody else that's been working on the book. Like they're trying to get grab your attention, and it goes out the window because, I think it's probably the most frustrating. It may be frustrating in the monthly, absorbing it monthly, but I can't even imagine, like, can you imagine having a Peach Momoko Demon Days Treasury Collector's Edition, and halfway through John Romita Jr. shows up for an issue? Like, it would totally kill it. Nobody buys it because of that. They buy it because it's Peach Momoko and it's consistent. And they give her 6 months to a year to write a 4-issue thing. Imagine if she had a team. Imagine if she had a team and she was just rolling, but we can't do that. So, wow, let's start the show off like super just hot,
So, Calvin. Well, let's wait till we get into the books, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had a fun week this week. I mean,
I did too.
It wasn't
my other preliminary thing is that I'm gonna break my usual rule, and that is I'm having more than one pick, and I don't give a good goddamn. There is just more than one.
That's okay.
Book
That's
week,
perfectly fine.
I can't pick.
I think I have 2, and I think you know exactly which ones. I might have 3.
Yeah, I see what they.
Yeah, I think you know exactly what. Yeah, but we'll get to it. I think. All right, I think I have everybody in that is currently in. Yeah, I think I have everybody. Let me make sure I have Starfire in there. Let's see. Yep. Okay. I think we're good. So as we go, if you're new here and you still haven't said anything in the chat, make sure to speak in the chat because we are giving away slabs at the end of the night. All right, let's go ahead and get into the book, shall we? Jeez,
let's do it. Man,
goodness. Avengers issue number 9 from McKay and our new artist. I enjoyed the issue. I will say that if I had to go back to my notes and read what I said, I think the only complaint I would have to say is there's too much going on. There's too much going on. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 team members on each team,
Mhm.
and we are literally jumping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, between each character. And I understand what McKay's doing. I get it, but it was halfway through the jumps, it got distracting.
Right.
Now, put that aside, I liked it. I thought it was fun seeing the dynamics between the characters. I thought it was great seeing them fight to who's going to get Kang and what they're going to do with Kang. But it was hopping around the entire issue to the point where I almost got lost. And I think it's because we're trying to introduce too many new characters at once.
Well, it's not just this team too, right? Like we had the other team that was introduced in the first arc,
Correct.
the Ashen Combine.
Right, and they're gone.
I mean, but are they like?
Well, they're in prison or
Yes,
something like that. Yeah.
seems like it, but like we've gotten 12 new characters and these were already introduced by then, so we got 12 new characters like the first 6 issues.
Right. Yeah, it just felt very. The pacing was not a friend to this book. Like the pacing was just out of control.
Yeah. What's up, Lee?
What up, Lee? But if I put that aside, it was fine. Like
Yeah,
it was fun.
it was totally average. I gave it a 3 out of 5. Like I found it entertaining. Like I was never like bored.
Right.
I think Joe puts it pretty well. It felt very color by numbers storyline, just very like cut and paste traditional Avengers. I thought the pairings up were fine, and then they did the little switcheroo and beat them. Okay, cool, whatever. But what I put in my notes, because my notes for this issue were very short. But what I put in mine were essentially like, I don't know that I'd still be on this book at 9 issues if it wasn't Jed McKay.
Right.
The plot's kind of meandered along at a snail's pace for 9 issues now, and I can't. And the way that that I can't tell you what exactly is going wrong with this book, but the fact that I'm not excited when I see it in my pool is clearly a sign that something's going on.
Well, and this week is not. It's with what we have in this book, it's not favorable to it. Like it's just kind of it's already fighting an uphill battle with everything else that's being released this week, especially for you with all the independents that you have that are just more superior compared to what Marvel and DC are pushing out. But I mean, again, like it was a silly goose time. That's all I could really say. It was just, who said it? Someone said it just doesn't feel like it's important. Who said that? Somebody said that. I agree with that. Like it's just kind of a fun time, and what's gonna stink is when we get into something that has consequence, and it's like, oh, it's because this happened back over here, and I was like, I really wasn't paying attention because there was just too much going on, right? So that's when it kind of sucks. Yeah. But I mean, it was fine. All right, next up we have Captain Marvel issue number 4. I kind of have the same feeling as I do with Avengers. It's not just kind of plain vanilla right now. Now, I will say when Black Cat showed up, initially I was like, "What? What's going on? What?" And then we get the joke. We get the gimmick.
That's how I felt about Blastar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I felt when I saw him on the cover. I was like, yeah, Blastar, cool. And then it turned out to be this stupid fake out shit. And I was just like,
yeah.
No, thank you.
No, I agree. And so, I mean, again, I'm just waiting for this book to well, let me say this. A majority of the issue was kind of like that. Like, what's going on here? But then at the end, when we get this dark, cosmic, eternal-esque entity corrupting everything, I was like, whoa. Okay, now we're starting to open the lid up a little bit and getting a little deeper into our narrative rather than just like, oh, fake out, we're in space, right. Like we're doing something cool. So I'd say like 85% of the issue was just kind of fluff-ish, and then we got to this kick-ass here where we're it looks like we're establishing something pretty monumental in a villain, hopefully. fingers crossed.
I will say too that a little bit of their tone, Alyssa's tone, came out a little bit more in this issue too, with the humor. A little bit of that Deadpool writing we expect from them kind of came out, which is a positive. And I don't know if this other thing I had to say is a negative, but like I found the second that Doctor Strange opened his mouth, I was my head nodding, falling asleep. But I always do that with Doctor Strange, so maybe they absolutely Doctor Strange's voice.
There you go.
But I just am like, if I could never see Doctor Strange in this issue again, unless he's directly addressing the weird like hookup thing that they had from the last run, that would be maybe interesting. But like, it just let's get rid of Doctor Strange.
I didn't realize you were that anti Doctor Strange.
I'm not though. That's the thing. Is like I don't have a problem with him inherently. It's just that every time I read a book with him in it, besides Strange Academy, I'm just like falling asleep bored. Like I think it's the magic side of things.
Okay.
It's why I've always hesitated to get into like Zatanna or Constantine or something like that. Constantine.
Okay.
However you
Okay.
say it.
Yeah.
And which, by the way, I'm finally starting to read a Constantine book, and it's started off great. But I'm just not a magic person, I'm the guy that poo-poos Harry Potter all the time, so it's just not really my thing.
You don't like Harry Potter?
Well, Harry Potter's a kids' movies and kids' shows, and they're okay, but like,
Oh God. Here we go. All right.
And so, yeah, for whatever reason, Doctor Strange just kind of doesn't do it for me. I don't know.
Gotcha.
That's obviously not like any discredit to this issue. Or anything. That's obviously him. But I will be happy if he's gone.
Jed needs to add gravitas and more weight to the team. I want to feel gravitas. Sorry, a connection between each character in some quiet moments to help sink in the relationships between
John,
the
I agree with
characters.
that.
Yeah, for sure. What about the Wanda book? Did we get a Wanda book?
I don't know.
Is that out yet?
If you meant like the Wanda books that recently happened, I did like the Wanda book.
That was a great
But
one.
I will tell you, it was a struggle for me to get through some of the mystical.
Well, there was that one
I'm literally
issue where
talking about I was talking about the volume you got me. It's right back behind me.
I got you.
Nate, you wouldn't play Hogwarts Legacy? No, not at all. I just I'm not interested in Harry Potter stuff really. Like, it's not like magic as a whole. Like, I enjoy like Brandon Sanderson stuff, like Mistborn and stuff like that, or Dungeons and Dragons kind of stuff. It's Harry Potter's like a niche thing that I don't. It's
I think it's
it was
deeper.
It was a popular thing that I wasn't into when I was a
Yeah.
kid. It was blown out of proportion. So when I saw the movies as an older, late teens and early 20s, people were just like foaming at the mouth, and I watched it and was like, "This is fine. This is good." And then I get to the end, and of course, if you somehow don't know Harry Potter, I'm about to ruin it for you. But like,
whoa, wait, stop it! Don't do that! Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
No, you have enough warning.
Don't be that guy.
But like when Harry Potter doesn't die, I'm like, oh.
Doesn't he die?
I thought this was supposed to grow with the audience and then be like a memorable thing for like adults, and like we grew with this, and like we learned that things are not temporary and not fixable. Like sometimes shit happens. He should have died, and I'll always stand firm on this. And everyone hates me when I say this, but because he didn't die, I couldn't find enough value in it for me, and so any extra stuff like a lot of Harvard likes, it's not gonna do. I realize I'm in the massive minority.
Yeah,
I don't
First,
care.
I lit
I'm
my
not,
pants
like,
on fire earlier. Now you're lighting your pants on fire. It's fine. Like,
Listen,
it's just a fire.
I started the show with a bag on my face, so I get to say whatever I want.
That's true. You're right. You're allowed to. You're good. All right.
Baldur's Gate 3, yeah, I'm totally into that.
Adults want happy endings
Sorry,
too.
Marco. I know.
Lee, what did Lee say? She said something.
No, Lee, you should tell me about the Brandon Sanderson. I love Sanderson.
She's also talking
Sanderson
about
doesn't
Percy
write
Jackson
children's
too.
books. Percy Jackson's is fine, but Percy Jackson tells you this is a child's book and it is okay. Harry Potter tries to pretend like it's not a child's book. And that's okay too. That's fine. Yes, at the end, it's a child's book.
Dude, okay. All right. Okay, then. All right, let's talk about...
Again, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just telling you why I don't like it.
And Joe, don't worry. We saw your halftime question. We will definitely get to it. I saw it up there. It's way up there. It's way up there. because our chat is on fire right now, just like our
Love
pants.
Yeah.
Fall of the House of X, Rise of the Powers of X, issue number 1 from Karen Gillan and RB Silva. Did I not call it? Like, I called it, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So before this came out,
Oh,
and
I do, the Moira thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is how they're gonna end Krakoa. This is how they're gonna get rid of Moira. This ain't gonna. It's not gonna exist. You're like, they can't do that, James. They can't do that.
Well,
they're gonna do it.
the whole internet says they're not going to do it.
They're gonna do
like
it.
literally every single person in.
They can't. I'm telling you, they're gonna do it because, again, and it's the most selfish reason, right? And we try not to be the grumpy channel, right? We're trying to be uplifting and positive about comics. And I don't think this is a grumpy or a nasty take. I just think it's true. We are seeing the evolution, whether good or bad, however you feel about it, which I'm not upset about it, but I'm just telling you, whatever movie comes out next within the MCU that has X-Men for longer than 15 to 30 seconds, that has a, Deadpool, I guess, or whatever after that, and there's an established X-Men team in it, Marvel as a company does not want whoever's at the movie, whether it's kid my age, you're my age, or an older adult, going into a comic book shop and saying, I want to read X-Men because I just saw them on the movie, and then they hand them this, right? Because this makes no sense to anyone that is just a general person coming into a comic book shop for the first time saying, I want to read X-Men. Now, the argument could be said that someone like Lee or anyone else at the shop could go, oh, well then let me direct you to our trade paperbacks and start with this, right? But our comic book shop is responsible and they're awesome, right? But most of the time they're like, yeah, it's on the wall, like that. And then, and they would get something like this and go, who the fuck is Captain Krakoa? What's Krakoa? Why, why is Iron Man in my X-Men book? And
Yes,
so
sorry, I want to make sure that I'm clear because I think many people are confused what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's not going to be a status quo reset. That's very obviously what's happening.
Yeah.
But the idea that Krakoa is going to never happen and no one is going to remember it seems less likely that it's going to happen than what I thought, because announcing it on issue 1 and actually doing it is something that never happens. It's when we do it in issue 1, it's like, oh, this is what you think's gonna happen, and then it's not what happens. I think Xavier, that's what he wants to do, but I think he's ultimately. That's what I meant.
I don't think Xavier's gonna be the one to do it. I think
I
Xavier.
couldn't care less.
I know, I understand that. I'm saying I think Xavier will be at the button, like getting ready to push it. And I don't know who's gonna do it, but it's gonna happen. Everything is gonna get wiped, and maybe it's Xavier that's the only one that remembers that it happened, right? And then that'll be the whole like tortured Xavier not running the school, like Krakoa happened and no one will listen to me. Like that's probably what's gonna happen to it. We put that aside. I actually liked it. Like I enjoyed the issue. I think if anything, I'm frustrated that we're not going to see the characters on this on the cover anymore. Like they are one and done variants of their version of characters. And again, that plays into I'm incredibly frustrated with the way the end of the Krakoan era is going down. Here are all these really cool concepts, and you're only going to get to see them for 1 or 2 pages within each one of these books. That's what's going to happen. Like, we're not going to see Captain Marvel or Miss Marvel as Captain Krakoa ever again. Like, that was it. We're not gonna get a backstory and or how Shadowcat ate the whatever it was called, the demon seed or something, whatever that was, to turn into this version of herself. We're never gonna see that. She was like what she looks like on the cover for 4, maybe 5 pages, and even within those pages, 2 or 3 panels. Like, it just feels like we are sprinting to the end of this. Just get it over with so we can reset. That's what it feels like, and it's very unfortunate. Because if you put all that stuff aside, I really liked the issue. I liked what Karen Gillan's best impression of Hickman with data pages, and him kind of building upon the framework that he set out in House and Powers, right? Like it was very evident in this book, but I can't get my hopes up because it's about to end in 2 more issues. Like, it's over, guys. Krakoa's done. Like,
yeah,
we are going back to basics, whether you like it or not.
Gaggle, we can't have that because I can't have the better relationship that is him with Hellcat. So if I can't have mine, you can't have yours.
What is this? Where are we going? Where's this?
They said if we can keep Tony married to Frost, though.
That's not gonna happen.
No. There's a precedent for future others exploring. No, I don't want to wait 30 years either. So, I just want to.
Lee, good news. I have House and Powers of X, but we encourage new readers. Like that.
I don't have anything else to add to this, but so if you have more, keep going. I just want to say that I agree with John. I'm out. Great art, but I'm too dumb to understand what the hell is going on. Like, I get it. I don't dock the book. I'm not going to tell people don't read it because of that or anything. But like, I'm with Fall of X. I was like, oh, you know what? I didn't need to be caught up. I understand the general gist. And then this was like, hey, if you don't have your bachelor's in Krakoa, like, here's the master's thesis. You better keep up. And good for that. I'm sure you guys enjoyed that. Like the people that are like fully in, but it crumbled the facade that maybe I could read with you guys at the very end. And I'm just not good. I'm not good. Which saves me a little bit of time.
Someone said they picked up that killer. Yeah, John said I picked that killer Rasputin variant cover. So I picked up the regular priced one, and then there was a 1 in 25 that I have in my pool that I'm picking up next week because it's just fucking gorgeous. And also, this is the other reason why I'm kind of frustrated. Rasputin's not making out of it. She's not. I mean, her whole existence is based on Krakoa. She's not making it out of this.
You'll never see her again.
She is gone. So that's
you'll see her in the type of issue that Lee was just talking about in like the 30 years from now, flash from the past, like trying to make us old fogies try to buy issues. You're gonna be, oh my god, Rasputin, I haven't seen her in 30 years.
Right. And then she'll just
Dan's gonna be like, I remember my dad talking about her. Oh my god, she's gonna go.
Right, she'll just be a throwaway. Joe, for me personally, I'm excited for the new direction of the mutants. I wasn't all in with Krakoa. Then you had to wait for years to jump into X-Men stuff. I get that. Rise of X is not a reader friendly, but I humbly there for number 1. It should be. I prayed for a great storyline, and the fandom is paying off. No, I think there's things in here that are fun, you know, like with the domain and with the basically robots just getting their asses handed to them by this new AI Sinister, who is just saying like, nah, fam, you know, like I am the one that exists. But we're spiraling down to this whole, it's just doesn't matter. Like, it's not going to exist. It doesn't matter. So it kind of stinks. And maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm way off. Where was this other one? From John. Rise of Power of X. I'm out. Yeah, great art, but I'm too dumb. You said this. Nimrod and the sun shutting off, and Death Seed Shadowcat and Rasputin just showing up. Like the Death Seed Shadowcat, I want to get more into that. And we're not going to see it. Like, we're just not going to see it. And I love Rasputin. Yeah, Leah, I love it. She needs to be a figure, or if there's a statue of her, I'm totally getting her. She's such an awesome character. But yeah, Moira's going out the door. Coco is not going to exist. Yay. All right, let's talk about something I enjoyed. So really enjoyed, which was the sensational She-Hulk issue number 4. This
From
is
now
my
on,
first.
will be known as She-Hulk.
My first of 3 picks of the week.
Okay, if we each have 3 picks of the week, then we're gonna have like the rest of the show is just a pick of the week.
Well, Lee just needs to
Which
know
is fine.
that she needs to just totally stack our shelf at the shop.
Let's get some books sold over there. Let's stack them up.
She-Hulk issue number 4. Really loved it. We already talked about the artwork. It didn't really change my perception of the book. I mean, there was maybe 1 or 2.
I didn't get to say this, and this is where we totally disagree. I was looking at Jack of Hearts' face and Hellcat's face, and I was like, and also when Jen came out and she was in her plain clothes as regular Jen, her face looked like a trapezoid. I was like, What is happening here?
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't bother me. Like, I don't know if I think it's more. I maybe it's my perception. Of
You have rose-colored glasses
yeah,
when it comes to She-Hulk.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm fine with that. This is my second.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine.
This issue made me go back and actually read. Lee? What is your problem? You should be reading it anyway. We tell you every week this book's
is
amazing.
like up here when it comes to comics.
I know,
like,
we're at our feet. Yeah, we're just at our feet. Like,
she's like, I can't do slice of life because I'm above that already. Like,
right?
we're doing.
Yeah, we're simpletons. Anyway, I thought it was a great issue. I liked Jen having to deal with the repercussions of her cousin being in town last month and just ripping shit. I like that we're getting Jack of Hearts and we're still building that relationship with Jen. I like that Hellcat showed up. I don't know. I liked the whole issue. I liked the story. I think Rainbow, whatever little substance we didn't get in issue 3, because remember 3 read way too fast because it was just like action, 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 action. We got everything else in this issue, and
we got the total like flow that feels like there was substance, but yeah.
And I guess the crappy part for me was I kept on reading a page and then kind of like flipping through the book. Like, it's not going to end yet, right? Like, it's just not going to, like, I'm not going to get like 5 more ads and then it's over, right? Like, I just kept on, had to have assurances within myself when I was reading that, like, I just want more, keep on giving me more. Like, I love this. And we got that in this book. And I actually really liked seeing Jen as Jen, just kind of going out and having a good time, not as She-Hulk, and just hanging out with the gals and just living life, right? And yeah, Hellcat's here. I love it. I want more Hellcat. And the fact that we're kind of like almost diverging into a mini Hellcat issue within She-Hulk, and Rainbow's allowed to kind of work with this character, hell yes. Like, I don't know. I liked it. Again, like you said, rose-colored glasses.
But no, I mean, this issue was really great. As someone who doesn't
amazing
have glasses for She-Hulk, like, this issue is really good. It, we constantly say slice of life and how much we enjoy it, and it feels like a real joy that we get to have an entire comic, and this happens multiple times in this run and previous run, an entire superhero comic where not one punch is thrown. And I think that's very valuable and really important, and I think that it adds a lot of value to actually examining these characters and who they are outside of just throwing punches. And I don't know, it's a lot of fun for me. And this issue too, like, just hit a lot of those points, like a lot of the plot points that we like we see her struggling between her two identities, we see her struggling with work, we see her ongoing relationship with Jack, we see her on and off again attempts to have a normal life with friends, and I like all that.
No, I would agree with that. And Holden says, did Jessica come in a little too serious? You know what, at the beginning a little bit, but then she started loosening up. But I do agree, like, when she first showed up, she was like,
I will say it was a little too thick, but I mean, that
it is what it is.
Also, Joe, I think maybe the cover doesn't look quite like her normal stuff, but it is definitely Den Bartel still. She's on for this one and for the foreseeable future, all the solicitations. Because you're right, I do think that these covers are like a cornerstone of the book. I obviously wouldn't stop picking it up because of that, but like,
it's a good part of it. Yeah. Anyway, this is my first pick of the week, so nice. Deal with it. Okay.
Deal with it. Fucking deal with it.
All right, we got Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 1 from Jonathan Hickman and Chichetto. This is my second pick of the week. This is the guy's pick of the week. This was, I mean, I knew we were gonna get something cool here, right? But I was still kind of like in this like iffy zone with Ultimate because the whole relaunch of Ultimate just felt kind of flat to me. I mean, we kind of got the gist of what was happening in the first issue of his Ultimates run. And then we got all the politics in between, all the world building, but in a very wordy, lengthy, and almost nonsensical way from Hickman. So, like, this was awesome.
We got you, Joe.
This was the shit. I mean, Chichetto. Right? We don't have to say anything else. Chichetto, right?
I heard Comic Book Herald say today it's not Chichetto, it's
Chichidio?
Cachetto.
Cachetto?
I need to look it up, but I think we're saying it wrong.
I like
Like we're
Chichetto.
saying a lot of it wrong.
Like Gary Jerry, yeah.
Oh yeah, Lee said, "Goodness, these sold so fast that made my head spin," and I'm glad. I'm super glad. I've heard a lot of that on Twitter. Is like people, like a ton of shops seeing people they've never seen before, like instantly gravitating to it. And
Well,
I'm super about that.
Fresh take, new roles, characters are a little aligned a little bit differently. Fantastic. I don't want to spoil it. I really don't want to spoil it. But in a nutshell, we've got Peter in this new universe where he never became.
That's it, Calvin. Thank you. Calvin's literally known. It's Cachetto, not Cha.
Cachetto.
It's Cachetto. And
Cachetto.
Calvin's known for what? How for the 2 years we've been doing this, 2.5 years, he's been here and he's been
He's like our,
hearing
he's
us
like
talk
our-
about it with the Daredevil book, and he's just back there like,
Oh, idiots.
He's say Italian names.
So, just nutshell, we've got Peter Parker who is all grown up, has kids with Mary Jane, and isn't Spider-Man. Doesn't have his powers, and it's because of the founder or the maker and his little council. They've reestablished the Ultimate Universe, but in their own image, and Spidey and a bunch of other heroes don't have their powers.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of get a little bit of a history lesson of what's been going on since then, which has been really cool. And Iron Man's kind of an outlaw, yada yada yada. And then we get to the end of the book, and we're starting it up again. We're going full fledged. You know, we're starting at 33 as Spider-Man. And how we got to that point, I thought was really cool. And it felt good, you know. And I think
I'm sorry, Calvin's over here like burning the shit out of us politely.
for everyone, yeah, right.
Yeah, we have special little nicknames for everyone.
Well, yeah, I mean Gary Jerry, you know, Tiny
It's
Onion.
Hey, he came up with that, not us.
What was I saying? Oh, I think when you texted me, hey, have you read this? And then I read it and I was like, this was fantastic. And I think I said, it's nice to just get like a straightforward Hickman book, because like Gods right now, we don't know what the fuck's going on in his book Gods. Like, it's just, I'm over here building my own world. I don't care what you think. Read it if you want. Bye. Like, that's Hickman's Gods right now. And then reestablishing the Ultimate Universe was kind of like, if you like the first one, you'll probably like this. If you're a new reader, don't read it. Like, you know, like, let me just tell you the cliff notes and just pass, right? But to me, this was a great issue. And I think, and a majority of it is slice of life. Like, all of it is, like, I think it's 99.9% slice of life. And then at the very end, we get like the big reveal, you know? So,
Yeah. So sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm good.
I was just gonna say, like, I agree with Marco. I say let the spoilers fly. We're here to talk comics, and I
Okay.
don't think there's a single person in chat that hasn't read this issue. It seems like.
Okay. all
So
right, I just want to make sure.
I want to talk about a spoiler because it's my favorite part of the book.
Okay.
So here's your warning. My favorite part of the book is the ending, and it's because of the symbolism that we have. The one thing that has been a cornerstone of Peter Parker is that he was an unwitting bystander thrust into this position. He never chose with great power comes great responsibility. He didn't choose that life. Right. And in this iteration, he's choosing it. It is a fundamental part of his identity. Now, this is something he just chosen. And that may seem so simple, but to me it seems radically different. I mean, it makes these characters in some of the ways, the two versions of the character, radically different in some ways. Like, obviously they're not in most ways, but like, I don't know, it feels really different to me. And what I hope is that this can shape this character to not be a constant punching bag for tragedy. If there's one thing that you can be a consistent thing for 616 Peter Parker, is that nothing is going to go right and something bad's going to happen. Can't be happening. Right. And honestly, it's the reason why I don't care for Spider-Man comics, because I have enough of that kind of shit in my life. I don't need more of that. I get a lot of that in real life and through my like sad indie comics. I don't want that from my Spider-Man. I like fun Spider-Man. And while I don't anticipate any Hickman book to be a bundle of joy, I just, at least for now, I'm super happy that I've got a active Peter Parker who's controlling his life, and he's got a cute little family, and we don't have a racist right-wing J. Jonah Jameson, and also the Ben still being alive instead of May, I think is a wonderful change. I'm super excited.
I mean, it's not expected. So,
well, not only was it expected, but just the implications and the possibilities of that type of character growth. And again, Peter isn't marred by the tragedy of his accidental actions or lack of actions. And I think that's a huge change in his character that I'm really looking forward to, is these big ways that he's not just this god-awful, sad character that all these horrible things happen to all the time. Very much looking forward.
Yeah. And I liked how Iron Man shows up, young Tony, and giving him the cylinder that's got the spider in it. I liked that Hickman was kind of toying with the reader with the tension between Peter and MJ. Oh shit, like he doesn't want to be in this relationship. I was like, oh, we're going down that road. Even though you knew that's not what was going to happen, it just felt like he made you feel that way, which is incredibly impressive as a writer, to make you second guess what you think you know about this book, right? And that was cool. So I don't know, 10 out of 10 for me. Like, great book. Put it on the shelf, Lee. If you have any copies left, if you got to put it up second prints, great. But
they've already announced a second printing, RB Silver. I don't remember who asked. I think it might have been Joe. If anyone picked up any extra covers, did you?
No, I didn't. I looked at a couple, but no, I was like, I'm just gonna stick with this one.
I only didn't because I got to the shop late and I didn't pre-order it, but I really wanted that Stegman variant.
Was it Stegman variant? Well, shit, now I gotta
Yeah,
look at it.
it's the one with all the family together. It's like, it looks like a family portrait.
Shit.
I love it. I love it so much.
Give me
And
more
I think
Stegman. Like, where's Stegman, man?
right.
What's he doing right now?
Joe hit it on the head for me. As a 30-year-old father of 3, this could be my story. And yeah, I mean, and I think Lee says it too. It's about time Peter actually was allowed to grow up. And like, I know all of these comic characters can't grow up, and we're not the first generation characters, so clearly we didn't. It's not like we deserve it over other generations, but it's like, man, we've been telling the same story for so long. We've been just like killing his hopes and dreams forever. It's like, fine, if you've got to give that to me in an Ultimate first, I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
Oh, Nick Klein did a cover. Oh, sick.
Yeah, there's a lot of good covers. I really want.
Here's the reprint that RB is going to be coming out with. Love it. That's pretty cool.
What is the 1-100, by the way? That one isn't, right? That one's just regular.
Oh yeah, that was the.
Oh yeah, the David Marquez. That's really good.
What the heck? The 1 in 500? What?
It's because it's J. Scott Campbell.
Okay. All right. Well, that's that. Love it.
I'm glad everyone loved. When was the last time everyone was just, yay, we love this book? Like,
gushed over a Spider-Man book? Yeah, it's been a minute. Like,
well, I don't think we've ever gushed over a Spider-Man book in this show, because in the show we started on the tail end of Nick Spencer's run.
Oh god, that was just.
So, yeah, Joe got it. Nice.
All right, let's go halftime question, Joe. If you got another one, just in case, I didn't know if you had another one, but we're gonna go with the one that you had at the beginning because we were talking about artists, and he asked, "How did Jack Kirby keep up with all the ongoings with little to no tools other than the basics?"
Grit and determination, and probably no family time. I mean, I it's probably working. It's probably manga style working. Absolutely working to the bone, because he was absolutely passionate about what he's doing and loved it to death, and thought, if I have time to do something I love, why am I? You have to, right? Like, there's lost train of thought, but like you have to have a passion for it to like it that much and to do it that much. Like, no one's just like, I fucking hate this, and it's not gonna
I think
turns
there's just
out all this amazing work.
Coming back to our conversation, I think there's just a lack of respect for the craft, and I'm saying that more from a publishing side than the artist. I think the artists are working their asses off to put out the best possible product that they can, and I think they're being completely and utterly disrespected by the publishing groups, by Marvel, by DC, and whoever else, because they're
Yeah.
not being given the adequate enough amount of time and or tools or team to accomplish the best possible product that they can in these comic books. And it's unfortunate. I think that they deserve that, especially with what a majority of this material might turn out to be for them, right? Like, come on.
Mhm.
And so I blame Marvel. I blame DC. I blame any of these companies that say no, it's just you get it done. Don't worry about it. You know, and I think that's incredibly unfortunate, and it's a disrespect and a slap at the face to the writers, the colorists, the artists, the letterists, all of them. They don't get the support that they actually need because they get a paycheck. Whatever. I guarantee you that paycheck is not nearly enough than it should be.
Yeah.
I can tell you that right now.
Well, the only way they get paid more is if we pay more, because these corporations aren't gonna pay them more.
Don't give me backup stories. Second question. If the Ultimate Universe hits big as I hope it does, can you see the 616 finally end and build a new continuity for more fresh starts? No.
Can I see it? No. I
Do you
can't see
want
that.
it though?
I would hear it out. I'd hear it out. My initial hesitation is like, say, well, look at New 52. That clearly work. Not to say that there's not good stories in New 52. There clearly are, but like after 5 years, they're like, oh, that didn't work. Let's pretend like that didn't happen. So I just don't think so. And Marvel's been really hesitant. And Marvel's never actually restarted. They kind of pretended like they did in the 90s with Heroes Reborn. And everyone's like, wait a minute. You guys fucking restarting? And they're like, no. They were trapped in a bubble and it was just a 12-issue series that we were letting some of these fun creatives do. But then they're going to come back to the 616 and everything's normal and nothing's going to change. And everyone's like, okay, yeah, that's what we thought. And then Hickman did Secret Wars and it's like, hey, we're blowing everything up and we're merging them and it's not going to be the 616 anymore. Fuck you mean it's not going to be the 616? Like, just kidding. Everything's going to be the same except Fantastic Four because we don't own the rights to make movies and they'll fuck them. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing that changed with Secret Wars.
God.
I would be very interested if like Hickman was like, yo, I got an idea. You guys let me do what I wanted to do with Secret Wars. We did it with Ultimate, blah, blah, blah. Let's reverse what I did. I don't know, maybe. If you literally told me, hey, these 10 writers are writing it and working on it, okay, depending on who that list. If you tell me it's Hickman and Al Ewing as the architects with like Gillen and I don't know, Donny Cates and Philip Kennedy Johnson and just all my favorites, sure, totally get on board. But if you're like, we want fresh ideas that we're getting people that have never written comics before, it's all going to be fresh. It'd probably be pretty nervous about that.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. It's funny how artists back in the day got recognition, but these days it seems to be forgotten. Gone are the days of the worldwide known painters of art, artists, household names per se.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's get over to Batman and Robin, DC issue number 5, Thrills, Chills, and High School.
Ooh, Morrison's good addition.
Okay, we're not gonna talk about the art. I thought the art wasn't.
Yeah, let's not talk about
the story. Okay, loving Damien on this, hellbent to find out if Shush or whoever, I don't remember, is in the school as the teacher or the principal. Which I still think he is right in that aspect. The one thing outside of the artwork that kind of irked me on this issue was how Bruce was portrayed and or acting. And you can call me out, Nate, if you want
nope,
to.
that's exactly what I put on mine. That's exactly what I put on mine.
It's like it's not even the real. This is some different alternate version of Batman, of Bruce. Who is this guy? Even the artist drew him kind of weird, like he had a sad, worried expression on his face. Like, who the fuck is this dude?
Yeah,
that's not Bruce.
My exact words that I wrote down as soon as I finished the issue was, I will say that while Damien's voice seems pretty much right on, Batman really does not seem like himself in the slightest bit. I know he's trying to be a dad, but I don't think Batman should be this lovely. Like, not sure how to put it. I'm all for seeing his softer side, but it seems too soft for the continuity that we have.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm right there with
just-
you. Like,
Yeah, this is not Bruce. I don't know.
no, it didn't. It
Like,
just
can
doesn't.
you and if you've read the issues of like, I mean, just listen, like, flashback to Robin and Batman from here, or some of the original Jason Todd issues, like after, like before Death in the Family and stuff. No,
Right.
this is not the way Bruce handles kids. And I know this is his blood kid, and he's already gone through 5 kids already, and so maybe he's changed. But like, dude is never gonna be this soft.
No, and it just felt completely out of character. Sorry, I'm like trying to adjust my camera.
You-
It just felt he just felt out of place. I don't know. It just didn't like Damien felt on point, but
Patty.
it's almost like he's like Batman has lost some of his toughness or something. Maybe it's that whole split in Chip's book. Maybe he's lost a little bit of his personality. Maybe that's how we'll get a tweet from Williamson. Well, it's because Failsafe has part of his personality, and whatever.
Jason, I mean, Jaden, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Jaden said, like, you can't go from him hypnotizing Jason in Gotham War and just being like, oh, I'm fundamentally changing your entire human with this hypnotizing. To a person he still considers his son, and then just being like, oh, will you sonny boy? You.
Yeah, let me go serve pancakes at your fundraiser. Like, what the fuck is this? Like,
I have more of a problem with this than I realized. Because
it's like you read it and subconsciously you're going like, wait, this isn't Bruce. Now, I think Damien did a great. I think he was portrayed perfectly. I think he's on point. He's being the detective. He's being ruthless.
Mm-hmm.
But what? Like, I don't know. It was just weird. Let's keep going. I just want to.
It was weird, but I will say that if you take that glaring issue out, and it is a glaring issue, and Williamson seems to be a bullseye hitter or off the board when it comes to personalizations, characterizations.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I loved that the dynamic here was slice of life first. That's what we're looking for in this book, and we got back to it. So I do like.
Well,
that.
It was funny because we got like 3 pages. It's like, oh, all right, we're getting into it, and then it was like straight to the streets. Like, and it was like,
but even while they were in the streets, it was still kind of slice of life.
It was, but I mean, it was almost like I can't do that. I can't be in that world for too long. And then they went right back to it. So I guess it was okay, but like for a second there, I was like, holy shit, we're only gonna get 3 pages of slice of life. But then it panned out. But
all right, we're Jason Todd fangirling on Maine here, so here we go.
Oh no, yeah, because Lee's just she's taking over chat. It's fine. I love it. I want her to take over chat. All right, next up we have Green Lantern issue number 7. Okay, we talked about the art. Put the art away. Just put it over there. We ain't gonna talk about it.
Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Fundamentally, I kind of liked the issue. We find out how Kilowog dies. Literally, his emotional spectrum literally blew up the fear battery in Sinestro's planet, which was like, what, dude? He went out like a boss. That's all I gotta say. But we also find out that the Federation of Planets has disbanded, or is not allowing any kind of lantern activity on Earth. Because
we knew that.
Oh well, I didn't, and so they got heroes.
What? We've known that the whole time.
I don't remember. Anyway,
sorry, both from this and the John Stewart book.
Okay, well, whatever.
It's okay.
I thought it was cool. We got rogue Sinestro Corps agents going off, trying to, politics it up.
Rogue.
Yeah. But I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was cool. I liked how we kind of, the mystery is deepening with the lanterns, right? With this whole like, why did the fear battery blow up? Well, in Hal kind of just casually drops like, oh, because his emotional spectrum like overpowered it. You're like, the fuck you talking about, bro? Like, you can do that, like,
you can do anything you want in comics.
Yeah, right. But I liked it. I thought it was a good issue. Again, artwork was what I think was the real detriment to the book. And that's not to say that the artist was bad. It just didn't, you read your 6 issues in, you get to 7, and it's like a complete 180 on what you're reading. It's almost like, did I pick up the wrong book? Like that's how I feel every time the artwork changes. It's like, did I mess up somewhere? Is this?
Have a good night, Marco. Thanks for coming out.
So, Marco, okay, well, make sure to watch this back again because your name is entered into the winnings, and if you win, we're gonna need that information. So watch this as a past episode when we spin the wheel at the end.
Yeah. So what kind of what I put in my notes was like, like this I was kind of like slowly smallly on a downturn on this book just because I was like, it's almost some space. Where are the other lanterns? What are we doing? And then finally we get this issue. I was like, okay, like I've got more oomph. Like you did what I got to see Joe. Got to see Joe.
Looking up
Like
pissed,
even
dude.
though it was like
Pissed.
literally 2 panels,
Yeah.
but like she was there. I was happy about that. But like this is what I want from a Green Lantern comic. I want space. I want aliens. I want political intrigue. I don't ever want to see Earth in a Green Lantern comic. And I know that's a lot to ask, and whatever. But like I could not care less about Hal Jordan's interpersonal relationships on Earth. Like that has been rehashed and retconned and redone and shoved into the ground so much that I'm not interested in it. I want space, I want aliens, I want political intrigue, and I want more lanterns.
Yeah.
It like to me, if you wanted, because they had one in Rebirth already. We've had Hal Jordan. If you want Hal Jordan book, give him his own book. That's fine. But if in Green Lantern, I guess what I'm saying is I want Green Lantern core more than I want Hal Jordan. And so this issue gave me that, and I'm happy. I don't know.
I want another Sinestro-esque core war. Sinestro War. That's what I want, because I never got to experience it. Like I think I was in college when it was going on, and I think I read like one issue, and then I was like, oh, whoops, I forgot to go back, and then I never picked it up again. But I feel like we're kind of going in that direction with this whole like the battery blowing up. You know, like I feel like we're about to get into another whole like big multi-core, maybe even establishing new cores potentially, war. And I hope I'm right. Sick of how go away. But I don't know. I liked the issue. Thought the issue was good. It was fun. Artwork was poo-poo though. Like not poo-poo. It was poo-poo that we just went to another.
The tonal shift was poo-poo.
There you go. The tonal shift. Nothing to do with the artist. All right. Am I pushing something here or? Yep. Okay.
That's Nate's pick of the week.
I actually won't. I'm not just gonna like go on forever. Sometimes I do on this book when it comes around because
Brutally
I
honest,
just
yeah.
love it so much.
Yep.
But like I actually told myself I wasn't gonna review this issue because I just wanted to feel it. I didn't want to like, sometimes like when I pick up a comic, I'm like, all right, these are the things I'm gonna look out for. And so for this issue, I didn't want to do that. And okay, so the whole thing about this book, right, is that it's just like absolutely gut wrenching, and there are clear personal ties in this book because like being a daughter dad is like a whole aspect here, and like seeing like a piece of shit dad and a daughter that suffers from that is clearly like a big theme of the book and something that's really personal for me. But like we see Francis and the Bug guy off and kind of like, they've run away. Bug beat the shit out of her dad, and now they've got to figure out what they're gonna do. And her just like confiding in the Bug, and like I don't understand how Lemire makes you like gets the tone of like a 9-year-old girl's voice so well, but it's like I don't know, the emotions that come from this are just really
right.
The other thing about this book is like Lemire's stuff always has that like really melancholy, like just on the edge of mystical feeling, and you're not quite sure what the fuck's going on. Mm-hmm. And in this issue, we gotta like, hey, you don't know what the fuck is going on. We see our characters kind of converge in one area. We've got 3 overall plot lines kind of happening. We've got Francis and the Bug doing their thing. We've got the detective that's here on the cover doing his own thing, trying to figure out what happened. And then we've got the mom of the boy who was shot, who's in turmoil and trying to figure out what the fuck's going on too. She's the one that's like starting to get onto like, hey man, there's something not just normal going on here. And we all kind of see them converge into this forested area of the town. And a 4th element is involved, and it's split between this old man who sort of appears out of nowhere, who says he's been waiting for them to appear, that he knows who the Bug is, and he appears right next to them in the heart of the woods, next to what looks like a ritual area to confine somebody. there are chains and handcuffs hanging from a tree, and there are like runes carved into the tree with like what looks like a ritualistic circle drawn in the ground. Is very strange, and it ends with the detective. What he hears is Francis's voice, and he's running into the woods, and he gets to the like river, and there's just fish flies bubbling out of the river, and she's nowhere to be found. And so it just took this like really like very slightly uncomfortable, like it probably isn't going to go non-realistic, but it could at any moment, and then we just went woo and off the deep end. So the interpersonal mixed with the mysticism mixed with Jeff Lemire's like really crazy, like super specific art for this. This is probably going to be one of my favorite comics of all time. I'm so happy that I'm getting to read this while it's being released.
Totally a sacrificial summoning altar for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this book was wonderful, and if you like crying at comics, you should pick this up.
Crying at comics. That's
or maybe you don't have a heart and you won't. I don't know.
That'll be our next podcast. Crying at comics.
I can do a lot.
Right, the Sacrificers. Did it get brutal?
So, yes and no.
Okay.
So, we find out that someone got Game of Thrones. It just wasn't the daughter. Right at the last minute, right before the very last bit of life energy is sucked away from the daughter, the pigeon kid, remember he was like down in the water and was like messing with like a vent. Well, he accidentally breaks it open and floods down, and it hits her and knocks her loose from the contraption, and they escape away.
Okay.
But don't worry, the character who we thought, oh man, we like her, and she's not like her parents, or she's not like her dad, who's just like a whole person who's gonna like drink the life force of another person. Nope, she actually tries to turn on Pigeon. Is like, no, I need this life force, and I'm gonna take it from you. And like, he somehow gets zapped with energy. It's all makes sense, but like, it's very confusing.
So she's bad.
So she's baddie, and it looks like our Pigeon kid that we've been following from the beginning has gotten these powers in some capacity, because at one point they send henchmen after him, and when he punches them, their face explodes off their body with blood gushing everywhere. All right. Very great, very awesome. Very great. And then the dad decides, hey, I don't like my wife defying me and not drinking the lifeblood. And she's the moon, by the way. She's like the personification of the moon, but she's also really... he goes up and melts her into oblivion. So then the moon disappears from the sky. So
Jesus.
Yeah, a lot of interesting stuff happens. At the very end of the previous issue, Remender just sort of like pedaled to the metal, and in this issue, he just said, "I hope you're fucking holding on. We're not stopping." I will say that there were probably some thematic elements of this that I didn't pick up on as much, because I was like sort of like had the shit beat out of me because I read Fish, Flies, and Swan Songs, and then this, and that was not the right order. So it was good, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't maybe quite as profound as other issues, but it's still
good.
One of the best comics that's getting.
All right, cool. All right, back on to Nate's pull list. We got Swung Songs issue number 6.
This is Nate's independent corner.
Independent.
This is my sad boy times. Okay, so Swan Songs, right? Swan Songs is a collection of stories about endings. And this one is a collection about the endings of a family and how the main leader of the household, going insane, and
not read this book anymore.
It's over. This is the last issue.
Okay, because it just feels like this book is too heavy.
This book is too heavy.
Okay.
If you are a father or the leader of a household, this book will be difficult for you. If you are a father or were the leader of a household, you don't have that household anymore, this book will wreck you to pieces. And so you should probably be careful with this book. And I'm not being silly. I'm being dead serious.
Yeah, you're being serious.
So this entire book is also a little bit of an homage to. I'm sure you'll recognize this book's like the at the end of the sidewalk or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it is, but I'm actually just trying to find what that's called. But this is a story told in poems. It's all poems, and the illustrations that we get are the the artist from Ice Cream Man. So this is a little bit of like a Ice Cream, not a crossover necessarily, but like in the same. But basically, this is a story of a guy that goes insane, tries to hang himself, isn't successful, and goes into an insane asylum. And then his family falls apart. His wife can't pay the bills, and she has to find a way to make ends meet. So she becomes a prostitute and try to make money. And she does it to try to keep her daughter in school and her daughter, fed and clothed and everything. And because her kid's alone all the time, because her mom is a prostitute, she hangs around the wrong people and gets into drugs and gets into bad things. And it is
Dinosaur.
It is tough. It is pretty tough. You're watching like the destruction of this family. At one point, it breaks the fourth wall completely. And one of them is about a camcorder, about the dad in the insane asylum, a camcorder. And he turns it on himself and then realizes what's happening and that he's actually the character in these books and that he doesn't deserve to be in the insane asylum and wants to get out, but is being punished by W. Maxwell Prince for some reason. And then is literally like, please stop reading this comic because if you keep going on, this is going to end and I won't exist anymore. And like, please don't be an active participant in my disappearance of reality. God. And of course you do. You turn the page, and 2 pages later, he hangs himself. And so he's just there's the poem is called "Whoops" because he goes the narrator of these poems says, "I'm sure he'll be fine," and then you turn the page and he's hanging from the chandelier or not the chandelier, the ceiling fan, and he says, "Oops, guess I was wrong about him being fine." And then we get like this little tie-in of his daughter finding the end of the sidewalk and deciding that she's going to give up her vices and maybe possibly do better. And so I guess some people might call that a happy ending. I don't know that the destruction of my entire would be a particularly enlightening experience, but that's Swan Song's number 6. If I guess I'm being like a little tongue or a little bit obtuse about it because it is like a intense subject matter, and but that's Maxwell Prince. Like that's what he does, and his comics aren't for the faint of heart, and they are not for fun. They are for intense self-reflection. Like I looked up some things and like some themes I've noticed from reading his other work are things like the weight of being a father and the weight of having a family and the making sure. And it's not even necessarily those are particular aspects, but it's just like the weight of trying to be a successful man and how that's almost not a thing that men ever live up to. Whether that's the reasons why are tackled differently in each of his works. But like that's just like it's clearly like dude clearly has some hangups about some things that have happened. It's like obviously like drugs are a big thing that appear here, but like I don't know, man. Like at the end of it, it seems like he is trying to. Maybe just because you fucked up, that doesn't mean that the line down from you is going to continue to be fucked up. But that is not certainly the hopeful message that I. So, if you like hurting immensely, and you're a male and a father, maybe even have a household, read this book because it's going to hurt you immensely. Other than that, maybe skip it and just.
Okay. Alrighty.
I don't know what else to tell you. Let's talk about Transformers, right?
Okay.
You got suplexes in Transformers.
This book was the fucking shit. Excuse my French, but god damn, this was so cool. I just it was so good. Artwork on point, story on point, action on point, Transformers voices and all the characters on point. The hook at the end, yeah, his mic does pop in and out. I think it's more of an internet connection than anything. We're kind of having some choppiness at the moment. No, it's not you. I think it's mine. This shit.
Who is that?
Who? What? At the end?
Yeah, what is that?
Bro.
Why?
Okay.
Why should I know what that is?
Just okay. So in the previous,
you know how much Transformers content I know? 4 issues of comic books.
Look, man, you're just gonna have to be lost because this shit was awesome. So at the end of the 3rd issue, Optimus loses his right arm, right? Or he sacrifices it. And, you know, Spike gets shot. His stomach is gone. They got to go fix him. Optimus does his thing in this issue. He uses the fucking Matrix to power a whole hospital. It was sick. Everyone lives. But they're getting, you know, the Autobots are getting their asses kicked. And so are the Decepticons. But they're still, like, for some reason, they still have the upper hand, which seems to be, like, that's always the case in Transformers. The Decepticons are just always kicking ass, right? It's always at the last second when the Autobots decide to get the upper, not decide, they get the upper hand. So the biggest question we've been having, at least if you're a Transformers nerd, is where the hell is Megatron? Which is the polar opposite. He is the antithesis, hope I'm using that word right, I think I am, of Optimus Prime. He is the direct opposite. He is a total just piece of shit who's awesome because he's a gun. That's his
It's a gun. It is a gun.
Yeah, literally, and it makes no sense. Like in the toys, you've got this giant robot who has a cannon on his right arm, and then when he transforms, he shrinks down into a gun that other robots can use. Like it was such an 80s like physics. Yeah, I mean we're talking about robots. Who gives a shit? But so this whole time we're sitting here going like, do they still feel pain? They definitely do. We're sitting there going like, where is Megatron? Like, everyone seems to be at the party, but Megatron. And, you know, the Autobots are put into a corner, and so Cliffjumper, I think it's Cliffjumper, gives out like Optimus a, like, hey, or no, was it Ratchet? I don't remember. It was one of the other Autobots. Basically gives Optimus this like, hey, we got to nip this in the bud. Like, we got to finish this fight. We got to bring it to him. And so they look into his, you know, trailer, and he's like, nah, no, we can't do that. Like, we can't go that option. And both of them are like, we got to do it.
Yeah, what other choice?
Yeah, we don't have a choice. And so when you see the, you know, the final page, at least for the Autobots, Optimus has got Megatron's right arm with his cannon on it, and you're just like, not in a million years would you have ever seen that. Like if you're a Transformers nerd, like that's just what? That's so like that to me is a Donny Cates movie. Just like, whoa, that's sick. Right? So he's got the fucking arm cannon. He's got Megatron's arm cannon on his arm. So then you're sitting there like, wait a minute. If the Autobots have his arm, where's Megatron? And it looks like his corpse, his body is somewhere in the Arctic, frozen. So right now, we're playing jigsaw pieces with Megatron, which is the baddest Decepticon of them all. And it would appear that Starscream is doing everything in his power, rightfully so, because if Megatron shows up, he's done for, because he's always the rogue. He's the one that's always vying for power. Starscream's going to lose it. We also see Starscream being as brutal as he's been in all these issues, splatting people and taking apart his own soldiers just to gain power, cool. Like just fucking ripping it. And then yes, like Nate said, we get Jazz shows up and fucking does a suplex on Starscream.
That was cool.
And don't get me wrong, Soundwave is my favorite Decepticon. He's so fucking cool. And so to see him kind of be logical and like still being the tactician is really cool. Like I think I think Daniel is doing a great job of the voices, like each of these character voices. And again, this is all coming from someone who is a nerd of Transformers. Like I grew up with Transformers, but I don't know. It's just hitting in all cylinders, and then we just can't. Why?
There's a logo on there. I can't let you see.
Oh, what's the logo?
Shit. It's a pile of shit. A big.
Oh, it's
bag
a,
of
it's
shit.
a, see. Oh, it's the Cowboys. Anyway, I don't know. It's like if there's any downside to what this book is doing is that after issue 6, Daniel Warren is not going to be on the book. Like he's going to be writing it, but he's not doing the artwork. And if that's, you know, you
well,
came up
and you haven't seen in chat, but according to Joe, he's off the entirely after issue 12. And I can tell you right now, I'm okay with Jorge Corona coming on and doing, but if he's off the book entirely, I'm done. I don't care. I don't care about Transformers that much, especially because.
All right, guys, we're not doing the giveaway. Show's over. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Outro later. See you. Bye.
That's Jim's
Just kidding.
pick of the week.
Well, that stinks. Well, I wonder who the writer. Who's going to be the next writer?
Don't care.
What if it's Kirkman?
Nope. Don't care. One name you can say. Total curveball. One name you can say.
But it has to be realistic, Nate. I can't just say the name.
Donny Cates.
Oh.
Donny Cates is on the book.
Donny Cates.
If Donny Cates was writing it, then I would read it, even if it was.
Donny Cates.
At this point, I just want Donny to write a comic again.
Donny Cates would royally fuck this book up, like in a good way. I mean that in a good way. Like he would just.
I mean, I don't want to tangent about.
Don't do
Donny
that.
Cates
Anyway,
anymore,
this book
but-
is great. Let me go back to it. This book was great. I loved it. Amazing. 10 out of 10. If you're not reading Transformers, you should. It was great. All right, let's get
By the
chatting.
way, we don't need to talk about it too much, but because I think at least half of you probably picked it up. I did pick up the Jason Aaron Action Comics, but only because I'm a proper boy and I buy the books that I have pre-ordered. But I canceled Action Comics. I'm done. This was okay, except it was interesting. It was way too wordy. The art was good. I am not familiar with Bizarro very much, so this was like, oh, glimpse into him. But this has the feeling of like a event starting, and like
It's win shit because that's, you know, I'm kidding. You guys love it. We're also we know that you're here for the slabs. So we're gonna do it. First off, we're gonna give away what Collected is giving away, which is the Wolverine number 300. Oh yeah, make sure to be chat. You know, type it in chat if you haven't already. If you already have, I got your name in, but make sure you're typing in. I'll give you about a minute. But we're gonna give away this first. The Wolverine number 300, 9.2, white pages, CBCS grade, signed by Brian Dunham, and also illustrated by Brian Dunham on the cover here. So please make sure, if you're not already, I'm gonna give you another 30 seconds, and then we're going to give this bad boy away. After that, we will give this away. You know it all. We've been talking about it forever. We're gonna give it away.
Joe said Optimus Prime's dad would be in the book if Cates wrote it, and that's so true.
I wouldn't be mad about that either, though. Like that'd be
We have to have die problems.
daddy issues.
Are you sure we've got everyone?
I believe we do. I have 36 names.
Dinosaur. Oh yeah, you got it.
Like I got people that probably aren't even still here. Like so.
John, I think
All right.
I have the trade already pre-ordered, so once it comes out,
Here we go, guys. We're gonna spin this thing. Just type anything. I mean, as long as you type in
Type
chat,
in.
you're good to go.
That's
Which I already
it.
got you in there.
As long as
Let me
see
check.
your name.
Do I have you in here? Let me check it. I think I do.
Yeah, they commented a little bit up.
No, but do I have?
I can't see your list.
Yeah, it's pretty tiny.
I try to zoom in.
All right, I get Tricky Man in there, and then I gotta get. Where's? I don't think I have Kales. All right, I think we got everybody. All right, we're gonna spin this beach. Let's do it. 3, 2. You know, I was thinking, that we would talk about.
Jesus Christ! Stop it!
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. My computer is.
Yeah, struggling. Mine
too
too.
many ads. I don't know what's going on right now.
It's because everyone is at home right now on their computers because of the weather.
Holden, did you just win something?
Yeah, you won something last week.
You won something last week. Holden, do you want? I mean, I feel like
You didn't say. You didn't say.
I know I didn't say. All right, Holden got it
You should say for that one.
for this one.
Silk.
What?
That's what you were rolling for, right?
Yeah, we were rolling for this. So Holden, you got this bad boy.
Right. And I'm saying now, let's say, for Silk, you cannot have won last week.
Okay, cannot have won last week. Got it. All right, we got to take Holden out though. We got to find Holden. Dude, my computer is struggling. Maybe is it my music? I don't know. Like, just like maybe it's the site.
It's probably the Detroit game you got in the.
I don't have the Detroit game on.
Oh, that's just me.
There's Holden. Okay. All right, so Holden got that bad boy. All right, here we go. For the one that we've been talking about before, take me out. I struggled last week. All right, thank you, Seven. I appreciate that. Let me get you in there. Okay, here we go. For Adele, for the big one, and then we're going to announce the books we're giving away here soon. I've got some slabs here, and I don't know if Nate's going to add anything, but here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, shit, I've got.
Good luck. Dude, this website is bugging. Ah!
Oh! Not giving away the book. Sorry, guys. See you later.
No, shut up. We are. It should have all the names loaded in there. Oh, thank God. Okay, here we go. Holy shit. That would have been horrible. Turkey Man. Are you here? Let us know. Well, Turkey Man won.
Hold attack it again. It's got a buffer.
Turkey Man, if you're here, let us know. We are going to give this away to you. We need you to hit us up on Gmail at twofatguyspulllist@gmail.com, where you can send us your address so we can get this out to you. So again, hit us up at twofatguyspulllist@gmail.com. You are the lucky winner of our 1,000 sub goal giveaway. So there it is, my guy. Send us an email at twofatguyspulllist@gmail.com. We will send this over to you. Sorry, I was eating. You're good, man. Gobble gobble. Let's do it. All right, let's talk about what we're giving away for our next sub goal giveaways. I've got some slabs here. I think I've got what we're gonna give away at 2,000, and Nate's gonna kill me for it, but I don't care. But we'll talk about it here in a second.
Why?
So what? Well,
I
first
don't
we need
even
to
know, but
because
why?
Nate. You know why? Because these slabs just sit here, and I want to give them to the people, man. Like, I think it's fair. I think that's fair.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not fair. I'm just saying, why do you have to choose ones that hurt me?
Because all I know how to do is hurt you.
That's true. First the comics hurt me, then
Hello, a burger. All right, let's talk about
a
it.
burger.
So-
But was it a turkey burger?
Okay, let me. Okay, let's just.
It was.
Do you have a? That was pretty good. Do you have a pen? Paper?
Do I have a pen and paper?
Yeah, so we can write this down.
Yeah, totally.
So Turkey Man won, the 1,000, and Holden won the Wolverine. So now we need to figure out as a community where. So I think what we did we do every 150 we gave away something, or was it like it was 250, 500, and then let's say 950, 1,000.
We can just figure out what the next one is. We can say the next one's 12.
Okay. Well, okay. So for 2,000 subs, when we hit 2,000 subs, I have decided to give away. You're gonna kill me. But it'll be here for a minute. We're not gonna hit 2,000 in like a week, right? Like it ain't gonna happen. We're gonna give away a signed CGC graded 9.8 Thor #1 Nick Klein sketch cover signed by Donny Cates. This is what we're gonna give away at 2,000 subs. Okay, Nate, I need your support here.
Yeah, we're giving that away at 2,000.
At 2,000, we will be giving
2,000
away. Here, check it out. This is what we're giving away, so you can see Donnie's signature. We're gonna give away this Thor #1 CGC grade 9.8 signed by Donny Cates when we hit 2,000 subscribers. This is the next book.
Good.
This is the next book that you're going to be hearing about for weeks, if not months, until we hit 2,000.
Hopefully
subs.
not a year.
Hopefully not a year, right? So when we hit 2,000 subs, we're giving away this book. So now we need to figure out what we're going to give away in between that, because I want to have some incentives to get us there. Signature series, let's go. I'm gonna kick off our road to 2,000 subs with hitting 1,250 subs. When we hit 1,250 subs, the first slab we're going to give away is the CGC grade 9.8 signed by Jim. I don't want to say his name wrong. Chung? CHEUING.
Okay.
It is a Uncanny X-Men #1 signed by him. CGC grade 9.8. So, you see that, Nate?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the 2018 series?
2019.
19. Okay.
So,
yeah.
When we hit 1,250 subscribers, this will be the first slab that we give away, and then on to the road to 2,000. Let's see. So the next thing we do, I think we'll have that, and then we'll do an in-betweener. The in-betweener will be when we hit 1,500, and when we hit 1,500, I love this fucking cover. This is a great book, and it's worth some money. CBCS grade 9.8 Marvel's #6 with a Lee Bermeno retailer incentive cover. Silver Surfer. This was a 1 in 100, by the way.
You thought?
What? What, Nate? He's getting mad because he wants it. Yeah, we're giving this away at 1,500 subscribers. Okay?
No one likes Silver Surfer.
Nate, I think I have another one. I'll just give it to you for your birthday.
Oh shit!
Alex.
I'm sorry.
What?
I think this guy just lost both his kneecaps. I'm so
shit.
sorry.
You're
I was
watching football.
looking. I was looking. At
All right, so just to recap, we're giving this away at 1,025 or 1,250. When we hit 1,500, we're giving away this Marvel's issue #6 Silver Surfer 1 in 100 incentive cover. And then when we hit 2,000, we're going to give away this Thor signed by Donny Cates. It's going to be great. So that is what we're doing. I may throw in some stuff here and there just to kind of get you guys hyped. But those are next slabs that we're giving away.
By the way, somebody said, Patty, I believe, said they got slabs for days. They equals Jim. Jim's got slabs for days.
I've got a shit ton. Like, basically what happened was
not.
during the pandemic, I got a lot of things slabbed, but then I also won and or bought a lot of slabs. Basically, remember when we got them Biden checks? Yeah, like I spent it like that.
You talking about the Trump bucks?
Oh, the Trump bucks. Sorry, Trump bucks.
Mm-hmm.
I spent my
money.
Dude.
I'm only down to like my prized possessions, like my Beta Ray bill. You're not getting that.
Well, I looked at that and I was like, no, Nate would literally cut my arm off if I gave that away. Like,
yeah, I still have my OG Beta Ray bill and then my Daniel Warren Johnson.
The Daniel Warren Johnson, that thing. I mean, guys, look here. I'll show you. Like, okay, so this is the one that Nate's talking about. right? This thing is sick. I'm not giving this away. I love this fucking cover. It's Daniel Warren Johnson. There's no way, right? And then, like, you know, just sitting here looking at this. Not giving that away. Like,
No.
sitting there looking at this. Not giving that away. Like,
God damn it. I forgot about all this shit.
and then, like, I got this. Like, I'm not giving this away. Like, no way. Like,
No.
so, you know, just I've been having some fun. Can't wait for this one to hit though. Like, when this one hits, ain't gonna be fun. I'm saying. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it. We will try to, weather permitting, get the slabs out that we had. Yes, it's flexing. I'm sorry, guys. I just had to. They sit here. I got plenty more to give away too, though. But everyone that's won a slab here, we're gonna go ahead and just we're going to try to hit the mailroom hard here and try to get these books to you as soon as possible. And just make sure to get us that, if you did one, send us your address, whether it's through our Twitter or through, because I'm not saying X, Twitter or our Gmail at twofatguyspulls@gmail.com. We greatly appreciate it. Catch everybody, guys. Catch everyone. Yeah, I'm like fumbling through my words.
Blah,
Blah, blah, blah. We will catch you guys this Tuesday for New Comic Book Day. It's going to be a fun one. There's some pretty cool books coming out this week. Lee definitely knows. Tuesday, 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Catch that video, and then we'll see you guys live again next Sunday, where we'll talk about all those books and more. Hopefully, I'll have the new promos shot for the new slab giveaways. But once again, guys, be kind to one another and read more comics. We'll catch you guys next week. Later.
Very pretty new books.
Very
Except for the Daredevil cover. It's not pretty.
It's never, and she looks on it, and I like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's still not pretty.